Welcome to another episode. In today's question is, how did Buddha come to his human consciousness? If consciousness and fabrication ceases after revelation. I'll repeat the question. How did Buddha come to his human consciousness if consciousness and fabrication ceases after release? The questioner asks, if you are enlightened, how did you come to normal consciousness? Buddha has realized, enlightened, so how did he preach or continue his normal life after realization? He should have been in that state. He cannot come lower. That is the questioner's doubt. So we will clarify, consciousness does not cease, but the ego ceases. That is enlightenment. You are conscious, but your ego ceases. But even if it ceases completely, if you are enlightened and it ceases completely, and if nothing is there, then there is no reason to be alive. Is there a reason to be alive? No. So there are some traces of ego left in the realized persons. Some traces like the desire for preaching, the desire for eating food, the pride of knowledge, the desire to do service to others. These are the things which keeps them alive. That is the ego. Still it is ego. That is the trace of ego which keeps them alive. Somebody has an anger. Somebody has other emotions. These traces keep them alive. Otherwise, they have no reason to be alive. So, even if they are enlightened, and it is said, if it is completely, there is no trace of ego, then the body dies within 7 days or 8 days. That's what people say. So, like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as an example, he had a great love for food. We'll see that. First is, we will see about Lesha Vidya, the faint remains of the ego. That's what scriptures say. Even after enlightenment, some trace of ego still remains. In the Vedas, this is called Lesha Vidya, or the leftover seeds of the habits. Lesha Vidya means the faint remains of the seeds of ignorance. Lesha Vidya can be the seed of humble service or the seed of yogi's downfall. This trace of the ego, which remains with the enlightened person, it can make him do service to the people in whatever way he wants. Or it can lead to his downfall. It can again grow back. That is a remote chance, but still there is a chance. It can lead to his downfall, depending on whether how it is acknowledged. The Lesha Vidya world, that is like a sheen on the surface of infinite consciousness, that without which there would be no functionality. This trace of ego is not there, then there is no functionality of the realized person. He will be like a mad person. There will be no ability to interact and experience or engage with other human beings. He will lose that completely. He is pure consciousness. So if ego is not there, he will not have any functionality. He will not be able to interact with others. He will not experience anything. He cannot engage with others. So either he will be dead, or he will not even have an inkling to have food. So he may die, or he may be totally like a madman without an ability to interact with anyone. So next, let us see Ramakrishna's love for food. This is a extract from the top stories for all. Ramakrishna loved all foods, not just sweets. Sometimes he would walk out of a gathering of disciples, run to the kitchen, smell or taste what was ready, and dot back. His wife, Ma Sharda, at times felt embarrassed. This man, when Sri Ramakrishna was sitting among his disciples, there were a lot of people waiting to see him, waiting to hear from him. But suddenly he will run into the kitchen and check or taste what food is being prepared. And Ma Sharda used to feel a little bit embarrassed. People are believing you are a great man, but you are here in the kitchen checking the food. And she used to, but Sri Ramakrishna was oblivious of it. He used to think, like it is a great force whichever is making me do so many things. And I am not independently controlling it. That invisible force controls it and makes it do its bidding. He never talked about his weakness for food to the disciples, though some of them closer ones knew, because he was afraid he will attract food lovers instead of people who wants to hear the divine satsang from him, words from him, words of realization from him. So he enjoyed food all his life. He experienced a great joy in eating, kept quiet about it. His followers who knew about this, close followers who knew about this, ignored his weakness. But toward the end of his life, he suffered cancer in the throat. He was unable to eat or drink, for he could not swallow anything. Yet he was joyful as ever, despite acute pain and denial of food. Calcutta's best doctors tried their best but failed to cure him. One day Swami Vivekananda and other disciples were sitting near him, and they asked, actually Swami Vivekananda asked Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you are close to God, to Mother Kali. Your pain is unbearable to us. Doctors have tried their maximum to help you. But it is a very difficult situation. So why don't you ask God to cure you? Do away with this pain. And he will not ignore it, or she will not ignore it. Ramakrishna smiled, grinned and replied, he did ask Ma Kali to cure him. But do you know what she said to me? Ramakrishna told, Ramakrishna, you have eaten and enjoyed enough food. It is time to stop. From now on, you should relish food what others eat. As food touches their taste bud and goes down their throats, you should feel as if you are eating it. Become one with brothers and sisters. That is what is told by Ma Kali to Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna told, that's a good advice. For I am Jaina. Earlier I used to eat and taste only the food which I had. But now I can enjoy food eaten by many people. I can taste that. My enjoyment is multiplied 1,000-fold. So within 8 days of fasting, the forced fasting, because he is unable to swallow anything, in 8 days of fasting, Sri Ramakrishna smiled. His face was bright as ever, but his soul departed after the 8th day. He was dead. So when the traces leave, love for food goes, or love for something goes, when the trace of ego goes, the realized person cannot be alive. So some traces called Lesha Vidya reminds the enlightened person so that he can interact with rest of the humanity. He can think somewhat coherently. So that is required. So that answers the question. With this we'll end this episode. Stay with me for another episode. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you.